What is the emotions? What is the role of the emotions in teaching learning process? Do we need emotions?
Yes.
How? Tell me some reasons, the role of emotions. What is emotions? Here we have happiness, sadness, fears, rejections, anger, surprise. We find some of the, type of the basic emotions which are required in teaching learning process. How can we involve the emotions in teaching learning process? Do we need to involve the emotion in teaching learning process?
Yes.
If you are a teacher, how can you involve the emotion in teaching learning process? Will you tell me a simple example?
Through dramatization.
If dramatization is here and then there will be involvement of the emotion. How dramatize involve the emotions? Yes, tell me anybody. It is open to anyone. How you can involve the emotion in teaching learning process? Tell me.
By expression.
How motivation involved in emotion?
It also trigger emotion to motivate the students according to their situation. And
Will you tell me one example, simple example?
simple example, when the students are using emotion in any other to motivate students to concentrate.
Whether it is compulsory to involve the emotion teaching learning process?
Yes.
Is it compulsory?
It is compulsory.
Is there anybody who is against this statement that emotions should be involved compulsorily in teaching learning process? Is there anybody who is against this statement? Nobody. Means everybody agreed that in teaching learning process, emotions should be involved compulsorily. I hope that why we should involve the emotions.
Because without emotion, we will not be able to know we will not be able to show empathy towards the child, towards our students. We will not be able to put ourselves in that person's shoes and understand them better. In order to make a child learn or understand what we are trying to teach, we need to come up to their level, to their emotional level, in order to teach them, to make them aware about the environment, to let them learn.
How you convince somebody who is a stranger to you? No, how you will convince a person who is very new to you and you like to help something from him or her. If you like to help something from the person who is very new to you, and how can you convince the persons who is new to you?
So with a smile on our face.
Some niche of emotion should be there. You will respect, you will request, friend, will you kindly help me? I am a trouble, like that. Your tone will be very lower and sweet one. Am I true? And thereby the attention and interest of the person who is too new to you will be drawn by you. Am I right? Okay, so in teaching learning also we need involvement of the emotions. If the emotion is not involved in teaching learning process, what will be the consequences?
The child will not be valueless.
That is the Xerox copies. Xerox copy education. Right. I also told you that teaching learning process is 4H. The first one is head, second one is hand, third one is heart, and last one is health. We need development of the 4H. That is the prime objective of the modern education. So the involvement, all these things is nothing but the modification of the behaviors. The modification of the involvement of the emotions. The emotion is related with what? Affective domain. Got the point? If you don't involve the affective domain of the persons, you cannot be able to help the learners. You cannot help the learners to change his or her behaviors. The purpose of education is nothing but to change the behavior of the learner in a desirable way. Changing of the behavior of the learner is possible when we involve the emotion also. Emotion plays big roles in our behaviors. If you hit somebody's, if you are a boxer, if you hit somebody with a smiling faces, and if you hit somebody's with an angry faces, which one will be very forceful one? The role of angry in productive ways. Got the point? So emotion is what? Degree of readiness will be there when we have emotions. Too much interested, too much eagerness. This is related with what? The affective domains. Cognitive, affective, and psychomotors. These involvement of three domains may lead to change the behavior. Okay, so how can we help the learner to listen carefully? Yes, you told me that motivations. The motivation is nothing but is arousals of the interest. The arousal of interest is nothing but is what? The involvement of the emotions. We are learning science, especially physics. Physics may help us to become the engineer in future. What are the products of the physics? We have a computer is there, smartphone might be there, tube might be there, projector might be there. What all the electronic items are the product of the physics. And if you are learning biology, it may help us to become doctor in future also. So we are supposed to teach our student on this way. Thereby their degree of interest, the degree of eagerness to know will increase. That is involvement of the emotions. Right? So, what kind of emotion we need in order to learn, in order to know the positive emotions? The angry can be used in productive way and non-productive way. What we say here is positive emotions. All the emotion can be used in a very productive way. That is what a positive. You are demanding to have a tea at your home, right? To your mother and your mother. Okay, but yeah, you always. Okay, you are trying to popularize yourself. So, positive. What was the topic? Let us not deviate our mind. Positive emotions. So many emotions might be there. All those emotions can be used in a productive way. That is what the positive emotions. You can angry not to fight others. Instead of that, we can use the angry in the sports. Instead of the fighting unnecessary with our opponents at the school, we should be sports persons. In the sport arena, we can fight it. So we cannot get the gold medals in the fighting with our opponent at the schools. But if we fight at the sport arena, we may be able to get gold medal at the national, international level also. So this is what the angriness can be used in a very productive way. We need positives. So you said, mother, I asked you to have a tea, not the coffees. If argument is happened between your mother and then you, I don't like coffee, and then if I fix that, I will have only the tea, no the coffees. If this kind of things happen, you and your mother, and then unwanted things may happen. So we need to know in a very productive and positive way that your mother's It's not able to provide you tea because tea is finished. Instead of that, offering you coffees, and coffee is something higher than the tea also. So we should think in a very productive ways. Cha lajadan ma coffee bitha ini, cha bitha ning da banate ko. Du khang ba machange. This is what we call understandings. I na khali na chumme na yaro ebo. I na khan ba kudi mag 100% am da pangwe ebo. Chumbrane, I khanda ba machange ebo. Chumbrane. Ujanas mana sasagri se problem lai je to ini. Satra ma thiang lai so problem lai je to ini. But nung tijai problem tu di pate. Ko. So we can use all these emotion in a very productive way in order to acquire the knowledge, right? Let us try to elaborate. The emotion helps in process of the knowledge constructions. If examination is very nearby, they spend time by playing the video games. They spend time with going here and there, okay, because they don't have emotions. They don't have emotions, right? So once too much seriousness is not good. Very less seriousness is not good. We need desirable level of seriousness. That will be because of the emotions, right? So those people who don't have a seriousness to study, seriousness to listen to others, may have the problem of the mental issues. What we call it, generally we know that attention deficit disorders, ADDD. Okay, attention deficit disorders. Okay. So this is also more negligence to the learners if we develop this kind of the behaviors, and if we have more seriousness toward the studies, and then what unnecessary we will think. And I also told you that it may create another problems in our mind also in terms of the too much seriousness is not good. It may so many psychologists conducted research works in terms of the anxieties. Too much less anxiety is not productive. Not getting much more mark when exam is out. Nor higher achievement is not there. If we have a too much level of anxiety, may also reduce the academic performance. Kahana pakatisisu mangsay, suma pakatabisu mangsay desirable levels. I hope that resistance keep my ohms keep my level do adu darkar oiba two oigada the one oigita ri masarum saksa gi bita baneba chubrane sumai do dana fuse amakatana kedore block mari manga control rokta fuse compulsory chakane chumilali. Okay, so likewise we need what kadok the importance of the emotions in terms of the knowledge constructions. It's very, very important. But as somebody is there who is topper aspirants, who has some issues when exam is knocking the door. If I enter the exams, if I forget everything, what will be my consequences? They are so worried. Pakha manung sang ai kaw gardi kamai toba adigi ai pakha se loisal kan se ke dore sama khatang hundo me tok nungai gidre da ma ani hundo me tok nungai the full thorom de nungai da mina. And because of that anxiety, the examinee is not able to start off preparation for the next day. And then so this is what the impact of the unnecessary anxieties. Pass is pass, it never come again. Naturally, how go both hundreds some study to we matau kari tarige. Adu mahuta hayengito effect tahol pai mahuta hayengito ano but chapter ma ano preparation how would na hen chumme. Mi kara am serious yam yaw. I find actually I also told you that life is very risky, that to make a friendship or to help other is very easy, but to get help from other is not easy task. Am I right? And to make a friendship is easy. However, to control myself or yourself is very difficult. Am I right? So who is the enemy? Who is your enemy? You are your enemy. You are the greatest enemy in your life. So don't blame other. By blaming the other, you could not get nothing benefit. Instead of that, observe yourself. What are your weakness point? What are strong point? And manage accordingly, and you will have a bright futures. Ko mingoda tainaraga ai pharakadabu natiyeba. Aina phalaktri se kainoda aini yajarubagi neba. Adu iduna ne maichak to phangido. Chumbra. Okay. So emotion helps alloys in process of the knowledge constructions. Karamba emotion a desirable level of emotions. Chumiko. Somebody is there. They are reading. They do study with a crying face. But people, this is issue, mental issues. I think my kara amna maya he gal like pablo. Nawam ta maya he gal like pablo. I think kara amna kay dore. My yam ing the cooler calm the ning teen and like fire. So the third one is best. Yang ka hena kay do serious oi bisu ga wa da pa ba sisu kok te chang de chumilali ko yam ni higat laga su chang de kok ta, because when our mind is open akoi brain se compact ne ba makhum le ba. The mind will be open when we are happy, when we are positive. Ko ma se phachadra so ma English yam hai he. This is what the positive emotions. Okay. So learning of emotions, training emotion is a key factor in enhancing the teaching learning process. Do you agree with the second statement? How we will train the emotions? Do you know?
Sir, emotions primary school be satra like patience and that is also part of emotions.
Okay. Is somebody, yeah. So somebody might be here. Somebody might be here. Is there anybody who can stop baby crying? Is there anybody who can stop baby crying? Will you angry when you listen the baby crying? Angang kapay ju mathayam sagar bjani. Masi kap tanam hona badesu orai bethabukti nati. O patience later ka di kadore ta phur du jana ngang. Angang ni ngai to kan gre gai. Chumbro ne. Patience ma laiter yaru. Listen to nati ba. Nang na ko listen to du nati. Nang understand to du na ya maru wari. Without understanding you cannot stop the baby crying. Magi kari umma darkar amma laiter ma crying to ri ne ba. Kapalle na nang low rutaradi, you cannot stop the baby crying. Chumbra lambra. It's really difficult. So in Russia, those teachers of the primary having more salary than the teacher who are working at the higher levels.
I think that should be done in our
Okay, and more qualification. Koi di class 10 pass over lore primary ki sidi ko. Hojik tabu di dai kan yok chalai, tiet kan yok chalai ko hana di 10 pass over lore. Adu 10 du na kari tapi denu gyan ta di. Chumbra ne most risky. Teacher of the doctor of the animal is more risky than the doctor of the human being. Okay, so and some of the research findings are also there that how the great people are able to achieve great achievement in their lives. So amazing, say those great personalities, why they are able to achieve that much reputation in our societies. What are the qualities of the toppers in exam? What are the qualities of the Nobel Prizes? Why not the others? Because research findings found out that this is nothing but because of the emotions. They have the capacity to control the emotions. All the problems, all the crimes, all the issues are nothing but because of the unmanageability of emotions. If we're able to manage our emotions, and there will be great futures. nang yang ngata sagon ba pet lagon ba dunadi moru mopang leiroi ko office mafam da sundang ki mi kanam leiroi ko man khan he is a really wonderful friend that Ketuba, what a friend who fight everybody, who argue everybody. Wonderful friend. So do you like that type of the person? No. Aduna kedore angang uringi kanda ay grandmother to grandpa to kedore no mo pa ngon phugi di ko smiling face ni hoji pa bai ka yam wai adu phugi ba mi di sawning ye ba chumrane oja pa mu de phugan ma pachai ni chai ko oja che never remember by the teacher by the children by the students yam nungsina luina ba dum oja to ne ba kau country si. Okay. So we need what? Negative emotion, not negative emotion, but the positive emotion to name. Emotion teacher to name. That is very, very important. And therefore we need what? The training of the emotions. How can we manage the emotions? I hope that in psychology, emotional quotient. And not only emotional quotient. Now another quotient is coming up. Spatial quotient is also coming up. How we are able to control our emotions of angriness, jealousness, and so many things might be there. So all these emotions can be controlled once we have spiritual quotients. Yam sautar di kedoktar iswoda koi like koram tari nixing tare. Nutizagi it was a midas and iswoda koram mi with the kias haugan kali chumbrane chumilali and the iswoda loina than lay missing say to the right karilay, to the left karilay, to the front karilay. If I grandpa na ama hiram me yeta kaidoba father left kaidoba I oisi I yet could say father na pyre chali ko adu oidana kaidore mother na pyre chali mang dana kanano oja see wakalon say lifetime ki kaugano adu tardi you can control your emotions aduna mama pa angang sing na mama pa ning singaktaba oja ning singaktaba dagini parak turak ngangna sanabu yarak se. Okay. So we need this kind of respects. Aduga nung ko mathakta na karilay God. Ko sigi port mari se adum ningsing dana leiba taragadi aikoi se abhawa dum oigena. So the management of the excessive level of the emotions can be controlled through what spiritual quotients. Spirit ka mari leina ba port na ko aduna ishwar thaja daragadi aikoi kedogre emotion will be very, very difficult to manage. Right? And that the control of the emotions is because after the training. Training is always necessary. Ojao itariam saganda batare natrana. Yam the social oja mama pagi machasing say those children will not be remain in their homes. Why many children are out of the house? Because undesirable atmosphere. Okay. And fire environment. Some children are there, they don't like to go outside. Why? They are fully protected by their parents. Am tina luna to bunina mo mapan thuling devo. Mapan ri ta ti to in chere evo. Ati tin yum ding mapan thok te ko. So this the behavior of the children is nothing but because of the attitude of the parents. Okay, and not only the parents, because teacher are the second parents, and teacher personality also reflected in the life of the student also. I was so interested in mathematics. I got more and more marks in mathematics, but with the coming of the new teachers of the mathematics come at my schools, what a teacher, I also told you many times, who come inside with a smoke, who come inside with jameli. So I was so disappointed. I was sitting to the first bench, and day by day I was going back to the best benchers, and lastly I was out of the class. This was nothing but because of the teacher personalities. So I was very far away from mathematics because of the teachers. So we need pleasing personalities of the teachers, and thereby teacher can help the learners, because the actual knowledge and potential will be closer because of the support of the teacher. We need supportive teachers, right? And arousing positive emotions in the knower facilitate the smoother transmission of the knowledge. We should be very, very positive. Positive in the sense that you are getting less, some teachers are they are blaming, they are rejecting their students, that you are getting very less mark in my subjects. But my question is that what are the marks that particular student got in other subjects? If he get less marks in English, but in mathematics, that students may get 99 marks or 100 marks. Adugi 100 mark phangba 99 phangba mark uja aduna phangnam gudra. Hector reject to godo na tebe. Angang dugi tongan ma potentiality soi leiram gane. We should care of that. Ko aduna mama ba ama oina angang sing hector chai ba yadi. Mangon the kari yaurige madu sembat pamachange. Oru de ba jaga like oru de ba jaga dadi koi mai on de ba tare like tam ba yaru do tardi. Mangon chana bam di soi piram gane. Chumra. Adu yai madudi like ti haire an dudi like haitre. Adi tadi ma like the channel ta bukine. Chumbrade. Another profession ama home do yaro. Angangi interest area is also necessary. I hope that you haven't gone through one of the psychologists whose name was Gardner. Gardner developed what? D.M. Dharmo. I mean, through the finger prints, we can know everything. The likes and the learners. That was developed by Gardners. Because the fingerprints the loan yawe by quality could be karam makani personality no I see karmaiter oigani I see krai section gani ko I see follower type la the lion type la all the personalities professions kari oini ko mas high bangang si kamai loine gani. So this is what this is also developed by the Gardners. Okay, now we will support a Neuer once we convince the Neuer. Once we support a Neuer, and then Neuer will like to know much more informations which are delivered by the teacher, and thereby smoother transmission of knowledge from a teacher to student will be theirs. The involvement in emotion is very, very important. What kind of emotion that we will involve when we have a lesson on environmental pollution? Let me tell you, let me know some how the teacher of the environmental education involve the emotion while teaching on the pollution. Pollution ki class tha pakanda oja aduna emotion se kamai involve to hongadage. Emotion, as I told you, that emotion is nothing but affective domain na tro. Adi the environmental ki pollution ki topic ama ta pakanda emotion kamai involve to hongadage.
So we'll start caring about the earth, about animals, living beings around us.
Emotions are
First, we have learned what is emotions, what is the pollutions, how many types of the pollutions. This is what cognitive, and then moving to the affective domains. What will be the consequence of the pollutions? If air pollution is there, water pollution is there, food poisonings might be there. Okay, use of pesticides, insecticides might be there. I find one example that the mercury is found in the water as well as the food also. And if we consume the food regularly, this is a common nature to have a food every day. It is a common nature to drink water every day, and then the degree amount quantum of the mercury in our blood will be increased, and thereby the cancer will be formed. Am I right?
Right.
See, so the question is that we need what? Emotions. That the cancer will be caused if we polluted water, polluted food, or whatever pollutions. So this is what? Worriness, fearness. Hey, life is risky. We should be far away. We should not drink the waters which are supplied. We need to prefer to drink the water which are available in jar or mineral water. How far is the hygienics? Is there any department which are dealing with the quality of the water is decided? Koina phangi ising singse akoina haksang sokra soktabra ise nongma ta khabar hapu udi ubra udabra akoina panga ka thaye yanam ta de khara lega nong lere adu lere ada lere ngai tokdra. So no one is there. Okay, and like there is there. Okay, but we are not aware of the pollution. What will be the consequence of pollution? And the pollution that I get and solkani ko yamthi manglakani high tardi. This is a worriness, fearness. Precaution is necessary. Involved in the emotion. The emotion later how you angry, how you happy, How you develop the jealousy? Your mind is controlled by emotion. Am I true? Mind is emotional. Loi control to weba. Smart. Ingon di hen gray. Like party. Mind control to rini. This is what because of jealousness. Ko. Nandra ne. And kadore. Ade di kadore. So the involvement of the emotion is very, very important, and therefore while we are teaching the pollution also, what will be the consequences, what are the harmfulness of pollution to the human being, to the animal and other things, what will be the future of the world, all these things are related. The worriness, that worriness may help us to prevent the degree of pollutions. Emotion the yawan bagi, akoi the kihan bagi, ko pakadan bagi. Research findings so oiri bani adu iduna maram organ pollution se phataba poni and khalak to ne gyan taraba adu itardi pollution do thingi haiba targati there is a need of the involvement. Why we involve the emotions to change the behavior better hana ising pagka tham tak pe aroi ekoi behavior change ori natro. The purpose of education is what? Change of behavior natraba in a productive and desirable way. So emotions, the teacher should help to create positive emotions in the knowing about the knowns. Self-respect of that is what positive emotion, positive environment. Is there anybody who don't feel happy here in our classrooms? How many of you are having disturbed minds? How many of you remembering your family? How many of you remembering the things that you have been going through while you are coming from your home to college? If you are remembering all these things, your mind is disturbed, and thereby you could not get any information, you could not learn anything from my class. Yes, mind should not be disturbed. So to be free to have positive emotion is nothing but we will do in a very productive way. I nang saw the logero. Nang Katani saw the way the window on the saw logino. Nang I saw Yapunti, I am Simini, Nagam Pung Mini Pung Nang Saurini, Saubus Exang Mangzi. What are what are the consequences of angriness when we have angriness with us? As how was Yang Bangrom Bang the bro? Bangigo. It spoiled the neural also. Neural from neurological sciences also. And the chemical reaction is coming. Saurgan Kari Tole Heva. So many side effects are there, the angriness. And no one who talks I am a heart issue, BP issue, stress, anxiety issue, so many issues are there. And therefore, we need healthy body, and thereby we need healthy minds. Mind should be healthy. What kind of healthy mind? The mind who knows that what is right and what is wrong, and accordingly he will do towards the productive way. That is healthy minds. Okay, so we should be always positive. We should appreciate. What the bone in I panam tai market song hen hegati. Adu hai baga. Stang namana budis mine hai. Mawadi kitan tano kono. Kaido bagi hai roi duino. Nang kari tauragalay nang inu may manung sa isda mana yam hai banina mana pung ahum lai pas nang di pung mari pa. Wari bohaba. Adu itar nawanda aphabagi rom soidan lakani ko. Kaido bagi ngamoy do nang after all nang miyoy bani wakan kan bang ngami bani. Soidan ay ngam gane na kali. Ang tangi hono. Ngamdre na adu nang khanasi. Hai dana encourage to biraga ngam do laik taman ba da kari kai bagi. Get out! You stupid! Harga yadori braham. Yadori ko. We should be very, very positive. Oh, upon the saving things, on the saving things, the sentiment show. Mamma Tom the laying a deep papa. Go, Mamma Tom the laying a deep for my among there, but she must call home the journey. Some the Hagan, young Palakan says no being among the Mopad to get over Mopad on the teething angles. It must seem more shouting. Costumbrone, the piecing of man, what's out very never. The Ipaduna, not with the sentiment is showing me. I use auxiliary and why I put hide in a one line. They father than a thing out there will no bitter relationship between the son and the father. Okay, so we need quarter relationship. The curiosity, eagerness are the most essential one. So curiosity, eagerness is also what? The emotions, without which we could not learn nothing. And therefore, please don't think otherwise. Okay. The physical support, that is the one physical support, and there is a mental support. Which one is more important? I also told you that the power of angry in fighting, the power of happiness in fighting. See, so emotion plays big role in our life, and in order to learn efficiently, we need what? Curiosity, eagerness. This is nothing but the emotions. Emotion always necessary in teaching learning process. I think let us discuss in next class. Okay, so I'm really happy. I hope that it might be little beneficial to all of you that we need emotions. Please control your emotions and please check your emotions, and because emotion is the prime cause of all the crimes. Let us control, let us manage our emotion in a very productive way.